Welcome back to another episode of the Mindset Talk Marriage and Family with myself, Phoebe, and
I'm Stephen.
we're happy to have you with us again today. This is the third episode in this new season, and we're looking at the patterns the enemy uses to destroy homes.
And the title for today's one is When the House Becomes Divided. And today we're specifically speaking about Isaac and Rebekah and their two children, Jacob and Esau, and the calamity and chaos that happened there through favoritism.
So let's kick this off with understanding who Isaac was, how Rebekah became his wife, and they now had two children. But if you have not been subscribing to our channel yet, please do subscribe, like, and share. We are here every week to share some important things about marriage with you. So who's Isaac?
So Isaac, if we remember back in the day, God promised Abraham a promised child. And remember, Abraham was like close to 100 years old when his wife Sarah tried to intervened, and another child was born through the servant. But God was true to his word and gave Abraham his promised son, Isaac. Isaac is also the son that God said to Abraham that he should offer him as a sacrifice. And so Abraham confessed that day that God will provide for himself a lamb. That's Isaac, the one and only true son of Abraham and Sarah.
Right. So Isaac, when he became of age, was given a wife, right? They went looking for a wife.
Yes.
And the servant who was tasked to find the wife at the well said, if anybody comes and offers me a drink and offers my camels a drink, I will know that's the wine.
Yes.
And then Rebekah came and she was the wine. Okay, so now we've got Isaac a bride, and the two of them now become husband and wife. Cool. And the Bible tells us that they had two sons.
Yeah.
Esau and, how do you say it? Esau.
Esau.
Isuzu.
And they were twins, right?
Yeah, they were twins.
Yes.
And so yeah, we've got these two boys, twin boys, that are now an addition to the family. But there's favoritism, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if there's any family with more than one child that doesn't have a favorite child. What do you think?
Nah, I don't think so. We maybe don't say it, but deep down in our hearts, we have that one that you wish, could all my children not be like you? Why do you have to be different? All of us have that. All of us might have experienced that as well. And so you can tell us in the comments if that was you, if you were on the receiving end of favoritism, or if you've got your favorite.
Ash. Yeah. We're not going to answer that question. But let's talk about the Jacob and Esau story, because what had happened is that Isaac lost his sight, right? Or he was going blind in some way.
He's of age.
Right.
He was going blind. It's important that we note how these two came out. I think was it Jacob that was holding on to his brother's ankle. So Jacob is called the supplanter. So he was hastig verstadig gedinge. Always eager to be there first.
Yeah. So that's where it started, right? The rivalry was in the womb already.
From birth.
Yeah. So as they now grown, matured, they are experts in whatever field they are in. We know from the scripture that Esau was a hunter.
Yeah.
And so obviously, he would have prepared meals multiple times in his life. And because his father was coming of age and probably going to be passing away soon, he was ready to hand over the blessings to his children.
Yeah.
I want to bring in your story here. I know we didn't touch on it, but I want to bring your story in here when your father, handed out blessings. before he
Oh, that
passed.
was a very touching experience. So my father, before he passed away, called all of us together, all the children and their spouses, and spoke into their lives, into each one's life. But I believe it was Jacob and Joseph that had this experience where Joseph came to lay on the chest of his father, and his father spoke a blessing over his life. And so my father, before he passed on, had the opportunity and had the desire, and that's what he prayed to God. And so this, on his deathbed, he said to me, come and lay on my chest, because this has been always my desire, that you would lay on my chest and I will speak a blessing over your life. And it's really, it's manifested, and it's manifesting daily. My parents used to, as gifts on our birthdays, would not give us anything physical or tangible. They used to say to us, silver and gold, my child, have I none. Of course in Afrikaans. But what I have is I give to you, and that is that I love you. And sometimes as a child you wanted more than just love. You wanted the 10 rand or 20 rand in your hand. But they blessed us with introducing us to Christ. And so that blessing that he spoke over my life, I'm a living witness that it's manifesting.
So I thought that would be significant to bring out, because that's how important these blessings were that fathers gave their sons. And particularly in this case where Isaac was giving Esau, or they intended to give Esau, his firstborn son, this blessing. That's the value it has. That your father can speak something over your life. And then there was division that was brewing.
So in the case of Rebekah, she liked Jacob more. She favored Jacob more. And so when she heard what Isaac intended to do, and at this point I think Isaac was still in the field busy hunting, and so she said, while he is away, let us deceive your father. Now Jacob was not hairy, but Isaac was.
No, Esau.
Esau, not Isaac. Esau. Esau was a hairy boy. And so what they had to do is they had to take animals' hair and sort of stick it onto Jacob, so that Jacob can go to his father and receive the blessing. And so I think Isaac was doubtful when this happened. I don't know if he sensed that something was off.
Yeah, you would have. I mean, because you are blind, your other senses are heightened, right? So I'm sure he may have questioned this. Something didn't feel right, didn't sound right. So,
because I think in the scripture he cross-questioned Jacob a bit. Until he was ultimately convinced, and then spoke the blessing over Jacob's life. And then shortly after that, Esau comes back and goes to his father, and his father says, but I already blessed you. Can you imagine the devastation?
I know that Esau would have killed his brother if he found him. Jacob would have been gone. Gone.
Because that's actually what ended up happening. Jacob was on the run since that moment.
And now this is important to note, that Rebekah was the instigator. She orchestrated this deception, right? And in the process, she lost her favorite son. Because now he had to be on the run. He had to leave their home. And I think that is noteworthy. Because it just shows that there was something wrong in their marriage between Isaac and Rebekah for her to be so deceitful.
Why her love for Jacob would cause her to do that. What was different between the two children? And I mean, when we think about us as parents, how we treat our children, I mean, like I said earlier on, we could be on the receiving end, and I was also on the receiving end of that, and we'll come to that a bit later. But speaking to parents, it's important that when you have more than one child, that you ensure that there is balance in what you do for them, how you treat them, how you love them. Yes, deep down in your heart you might have a favorite, but it's important that there's balance.
Because children are very intuitive as well. They know and they
Yeah.
can sense that, this one gets more attention,
Yeah,
gets better gifts. There's just a difference and they sense that. And I know we touched on this when we spoke about Joseph,
yeah,
right? And the brothers and the
Yes.
jealousy and all of that, because they could see it. It was that evident.
yeah,
So that is a difficult one, and I'm open to hearing from other parents.
yeah,
How do they manage
yeah,
not having a favorite broadcast all the time?
yeah. Yeah, because look, Jacob didn't make it a secret, eh? I mean, yeah, in total 12 sons, but the ones that was older knew this is my favorite. Made him a coat of many colors.
Yeah.
And I mean, that causes division between siblings.
Yes, because division in the home is not necessarily only between the
Yeah.
husband and wife.
Yeah.
It can be between siblings as well.
Yeah, and what it ends up doing is it brings division between
The husband and wife.
husband and wife,
Right.
because our views will differ all the time.
Yeah.
Sometimes that could actually lead to divorce,
True.
because except two agree.
How do they walk together?
Yeah,
And the Bible also says a house divided against itself cannot stand.
yes,
So I think the responsibility starts with the parents, like
Yeah.
you've mentioned. We have to challenge ourselves in finding those times that we show clear favoritism to one child over the other
yeah,
and nipping that. We have to repent from that, right?
Yeah.
Repent means turning away
yeah,
from something. So you have to intentionally change certain behaviors to
That's
make
true.
all the children feel loved, appreciated, and valued in the same way.
yeah. No, it's very important. It's very important because that division that we cause, and it's because we are not in agreement in the first place.
Yeah.
In fact, if we take it a step back, before we get married, we need to agree on how we're going to rear our children and how do we prevent this thing called favoritism.
So let's bring this home. You mentioned that you've had experience with this kind of favoritism. You want to tell us about it?
Yes. So before the whole blessing, growing up, so I come from a big family, like we mentioned before. 7 brothers, would have been 3 sisters. And so from that whole hierarchy, I'm last in line. But before me, just a year and a bit before me was my brother. And so when I became of age, or at a point where I could notice, I could identify that attention was given to my brother more than me. And initially it didn't affect me that much when I was younger. But growing up I realized, but this thing was not fair, where things are done for my brother. And I think when I started working, I think that's when I actually realized it more, when I had to be responsible for myself, take care of my transport, whatever I need in terms of toiletries and clothes.
Yeah.
And then I look at my brother's experience and how my parents always had to ask people to find him a job, and then they would give him transport money, and then my mother would cook a skafting, that's what it used to be called, for him every day, make sure he goes to work, he has food to eat, he has transport. And that started bothering me, because I'm like, now we're both working. And at one stage I had an experience where a friend of mine's car was broken into, they stole everything was in the car, and unfortunately in the car was a bag of mine that had my wallet in it. And as a young man, I didn't know that you never leave your PIN in your wallet. So years later, I can tell you that for free. Because I was young, I just had a bank account, got the card, and whatever came in the card was now in the wallet. And so they had it good because they cleaned out my bank account.
Ash.
And so for the month that was laying ahead, I had to borrow money. And lo and behold, month end came and I had to pay that money back.
Of course.
So now you like, but I don't understand. You're doing for this guy, but we didn't have such a relationship that we could talk about it. So it was just resentment building up inside of me. And as a result, I became very distant from my family. And so definitely that had a negative effect on me.
Something that I watched, and this was profound for me, is that everybody has a different experience. Whether you have the same mother or father, you're not raised the same. You don't, the same mother that your brother had is not the same mother that you have. The same father is not the same. Your experience is unique, your experience is different, and nobody will ever have the same experience as you. Nobody in your family. So, noted that you saw different sides of your parents.
Yeah, I did. I think years later I appreciated it. When I look at comparison.
Yeah.
When I compare myself to him and I look at what we were able to achieve and how independent we became and how we're able to take care of ourselves versus how he to date is not having it easy.
Okay.
Because there's nobody to pick up the pieces and fix it.
Like they used to be.
Like they used to, yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think of what happened in our home. And I really can't say if there was. I really can't say it.
Yeah.
I'd be lying. I know for myself that, yes, we had different parents. And I can say that I was different in the sense that I didn't want to cause any trouble. So I was never the one that was making trouble. So therefore I didn't get any special attention. There may have been special attention given to my younger sister. Maybe because of the age gap, right? There was a bit of a 5-year age gap between us.
Yeah.
So it could be that was the only time that I felt that maybe favoritism in that case.
So it's never a good experience when you're on the receiving end. And I think when you're on the giving end, when you're the parent, you don't see it like that. You don't see it as favoritism. However, when it comes to Rebekah and Jacob, there's clear-cut favoritism.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's evident, like in the case of Jacob and Joseph.
Yeah.
But it has a negative effect on the other parties, the siblings,
As well.
that has to live through that. That has to see that our parents, they treat us differently. But we are different individuals. And so some are stronger, some are wiser, some are weaker. But we all have our weaknesses and our strengths. And I suppose as parents we gravitate towards that.
Yeah. So let's talk about our parenting.
Yeah. You can talk about it.
I do believe that if we look at our goals, there's always one at any given time that needs more attention.
Yes.
There's always one.
Yeah.
Right? And I think initially what started out as giving a considerable amount of attention was Sethlin.
Yeah.
Because she was born prematurely. She suffered through a lot of health challenges in the first couple of years of her life. So we've always gravitated towards keeping this child alive, right? And therefore, initially, all of the attention fell on her. And I think for a majority of their lives, a lot of attention fell on her.
Yeah, because through her journey, she's musically inclined, so there was the need to always acquire things, get her into the right school, get her to study the right thing. And then we got to a stage where the exposure led to ill decisions. And so there we required to do a lot of talking.
Yeah.
So there was forever lecture sessions that had to happen. But between the two, the difference between the two children is one is easily influenced, one is a free spirit, that's it.
Yeah.
And one is not easily influenced, and that's Gabby.
She's a little bit more grounded.
Yeah.
She thinks things through a little bit more.
Yeah. She overdoes it sometimes.
She's super cautious.
Yeah. So you've got one that can easily just make decisions, jump and do things, and the other one that becomes crippled because they can't decide.
And what I do believe parenting styles do to your children, especially the younger siblings, when the older sibling is reprimanded or is experiencing life before them, they are witnesses to how we parent them, right? And then they make decisions about whether or not they want to follow the same path or not. And sometimes that cripples them as well.
Yeah.
Okay, because now they're like, oh no, the free spirit child is always in trouble. I don't want to be in trouble, therefore I don't do certain things.
Yeah.
And they withdraw. So that does bring some kind of division, because now you have good child versus bad child.
Unfortunately.
And that's not healthy. I think what we also noted with the girls is Gabby, being the more cautious one, would want to intervene as well and be the third parent.
That too.
And that never went down well.
Never went down well, but there came a point where Thethlin started wanting to drive. She obtained a license, and then Gabby now turned into the negotiator.
Yeah.
Why won't you trust her?
Yeah.
When is she ever going to learn if she doesn't drive? So she took on a different role, but of late, since she's away from home, she has now gotten a lot of attention.
Yes.
Because she needs emotional support.
Yes, most of the time. And being away from home is very different to how she's normally been close to us. Always had people around her, always had somebody to lean on immediately. Because she was shy, she wouldn't want to do things on her own and be reliant on her sister or one of us, to do things for her. So it's been a learning curve for her, I think, an adjustment that she needed.
Yeah, it definitely has. It has been an adjustment for her. It's been an adjustment for us as well. Because our parenting style had to change.
Yes.
Instead of having a child that's here that you have to take wherever, I have someone that's miles and miles away, and who knows what she gets up to. But I think there was a difference in how we ended up treating them because of their character types.
Yeah.
Because Sethlin could go take a taxi, go to town, walk to the Gautrain station, take a Gautrain all the way to Midrand, in a Midrand bus. Then I don't think we would have had hard to do when it came to Gabby.
Yeah.
If she was young.
It would have been, you must take her and drop her and fetch her.
Yeah.
That would have been our life.
But now that she's based in Cape Town, she's having to navigate life herself.
Yeah.
So our parenting became different in that sense.
And I wonder how they see it, through their eyes. Because Sethlin could potentially think that Gabby's the favorite because we always, have to be on the phone with her, or whatever she needs is taken care of.
Yeah.
So through their lens, I wonder what they see.
And I mean, that could be an episode that we have.
It would be good to have their views, so let's make sure that we invite the girls to one of these episodes soon.
Yeah, then we can have a perspective of a parent and a perspective of a child. At the end of the day, parents are not perfect. No human being is perfect, right? And so it's a learning curve, but it's important to be aware of the resentment that we allow allow to develop in our children when we show favoritism. Yes, I believe in the past it was difficult for the children to celebrate each other because they always wanted it to be about them. Remember in the beginning,
When it's somebody's birthday,
when
then
it's somebody's birthday, hey,
you must buy 2 presents.
we had to buy 2 presents. I don't know if any of the parents has ever done that. And eventually we had to stop because it became an expensive exercise.
And it was just wrong also. It's like,
It was
no,
just wrong.
they had to learn that their day is theirs, and
Yes.
when it's their sister's birthday, it's the sister's birthday now. So I think we had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, we are different. We are different individuals. We think differently, we feel differently, we behave differently. And so when we come into our marriage, we come with that. Our style is different, but that's when we complement each other. It's important that the couple remains united and prevents the disconnect, because this favoritism also results in a disconnect between the husband and the wife, and that's what we need to nurture and protect.
And guard
that
against.
covenant.
No, absolutely.
So let us know in the comments what your experience has been as a parent. I mean, we're sharing what we've experienced, how we've had to adapt, and we're by no means perfect.
No, not at all. And I think also when you grow up and there's been favoritism in your home, it develops some kind of resilience in you, the ability to be independent faster, and maybe just navigate life without the constant supervision of your parents, where the one that is the favorite may get away with a lot of things, but they are always in their parents' view, meaning they're always looking out for you, they're always questioning you, they're always there. With the child that does not get all of that attention finds ways to live without that constant supervision.
Yeah.
And then the parents tend to think that that is the strong child.
Yes, because they're now dealing with things differently, and the older one might think, oh, so you're not as strict on her as you are on me. So there's 2 ways to view it, or different ways to view it rather.
Yeah.
But it's important that we learn from it and we do better next time. And if favoritism is that thing, we need to be able to identify what causes division, because it starts subtly. And so the questions we want to ask today as a challenge to all of us, one of them is, where have we allowed division to creep into our home? Whether it be through the disconnect between the couple, comparison game, or favoritism.
The second question, are we unified in our decisions or quietly operating separately?
Sure.
That's a tough one. Because how often have you found out about something after the fact? And you're like, you didn't tell me that.
Sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, that's how we keep secrets from each other.
And that causes division.
Causes division.
No consultation.
Yeah. And so our final question for today, how or have we unintentionally created sides in our relationship or in our family?
This is a difficult one, right? Because if you think about taking sides, this can become really, really sensitive, and this causes division. When, especially when you have multiple siblings or multiple relationships, and people start taking sides. I've heard of couples that didn't invite, close family to some celebrations. And that causes a big rift in families as well.
Look, I can be accused of taking sides, and it's because I try my best to remain neutral. It's not that I'm choosing sides, I remain neutral but objective at the same time. That whoever it is that I'm interacting with or maintaining a relationship with, that I'll tell you when you are wrong. But it doesn't mean that if I have a relationship with you that I'm choosing between you and someone else.
Yeah.
So it's important that we stay neutral, but that we love each other enough to be truthful with each other.
Yeah.
And so those are difficult questions, difficult conversations, especially from a parenting perspective. But in all of this, we protect this covenant relationship called marriage. And so today, that's what we want to leave with you. Let's be intentional to preserve, firstly, our marriage. And if we do that, we preserve our families.
I want us to sing something.
Okay.
Can we sing Bind Us Together?
Yeah. You can start. I shall harmonize with you.
Bind us together, Lord, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken. Bind us together, Lord, bind us together, Lord, bind us together with love. So that's it for today. Thank you for joining us. Please subscribe, like, and share. We want you to interact with us. And don't forget to download the devotional through the link in our bio. Until next time,
Goodbye.
cheers.